Is Tuesday, April 19th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. at a regularly scheduled Walled Lake City Council meeting. City officials with us in attendance: City Attorney Van Venerian, City Clerk Jennifer Stewart, DPW Superintendent Dan Ladd, Fire Chief James Coomer, Police Chief Paul Shakinis, Deputy City Clerk and HR Administrator Miranda Gross, Assistant City Manager Scott Schrader, and Deputy Chief Heather Kolke. I'd also like to take a moment to thank and recognize Rob Wittes, who is assisting us with our live streaming services this evening. For folks who are attending through Zoom, I do apologize for the technical difficulties. If you're interested in watching the video footage, please access our YouTube page where it is being live streamed. Madam Mayor, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. At this time, I would like everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Pro Tem Lublin will now give the invocation.
Dear God, we ask you to preside over this meeting tonight. Help us to act as a unified team to open our hearts and make fair and just decisions that improve our community. Also, may we come together as a whole with the courage and strength to show kindness and compassion as we collectively work towards the betterment of humanity. Amen.
Amen. Please have everybody.
Okay, would the clerk please call roll?
Ackley.
Here.
Ambrose.
Here.
Fernandez.
Here.
Locke.
Here.
Lublin.
Here.
Osnick.
Here.
Woods.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a quorum. At this time, is agenda request for agenda changes on the agenda. I do have something I would like to add at the beginning of that, and that is a proclamation which Mr. Egway is going to put up on the screen, and I am going to ask her to read the proclamation.
Okay, give me 1 second to share screen here. City of Walled Lake, Michigan Proclamation for the 53rd Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 1st through May 7th, 2022. Whereas City Clerk Jennifer Stewart and Deputy City Clerk Miranda Gross serve the City of Walled Lake as professional municipal clerks, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations, whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Walled Lake, County of Oakland, State of Michigan, that the City of Walled Lake hereby recognizes May 1st through 7th, 2022 as Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerks, City Clerk Jennifer Stewart and Deputy City Clerk Miranda Gross, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the city to be affixed this 19th day of April in the year of our Lord 2022.
Thank you. And thank you very much to both our clerk, Jennifer Stewart, and our deputy clerk,
Thank you.
Miranda Gross.
Mayor, at this point, I'd like to make a motion that you go ahead and sign that and issue this proclamation.
I'll support that.
Got that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
She didn't see that coming.
Keep you on your toes.
I could surprise you every once in a while.
Very much appreciated.
The mayor has a trick or two up her sleeve still.
Okay, now, does council have any agenda items that they would like to add or change? No? Okay. Then we will turn it over to our city clerk for audience participation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have members of the audience in person, and we will also see if there's any online via electronic means. For those that wish to speak during audience participation in person, the mayor will acknowledge you, and you can approach the podium. Please state, one second. Please state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. For those members that are attending audience participation via electronic means, you can press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Again, that's pressing star 9 on your telephone keypad, and that'll signal and activate the raise hand feature for the electronic attendees. So for those in person, if you'd like to speak, please approach the podium and state your name and address.
Hello, my name is Debra Lee, and I live at 1035 Wall Lake Villa Drive, apartment 505. I'm here about Wall Lake Villa Drive. It's a mess. The water main broke. Well, actually, I went for a walk. I normally go to the cemetery because it has hills. But then I looked up the hill as I was coming home, and I thought, well, I'm going to walk up there one day. Well, it got really cold, so I didn't go, but I did try going up the hill on Wall Lake Villa Drive. I came to the water main, and which broke, I do believe, in January, and it still had the tape around it. No, this was a month ago. So I had to walk on the street. A car flew by, scared me. When I got around the water main break, which was the yellow thing, there was no sidewalk on the other side. So I still had to walk in the road. And so I went in and asked the building if they could fix it. And they said, no, you got to go to the city. So then one thing led to another. They said I needed a petition. So I went to the social worker, and he got me a petition for selling legal marijuana, which I didn't read at the time, because I ended up getting 75 signatures on it, and then found out that that's what it was for. So I had to do it all over again. I came to the city, got the right petitions, and because I didn't put all the words the same on 3 pages, it won't be accepted. It's a small community with seniors, disabled people, wheelchairs, riding things. They can't walk. I want to walk around the building unobstructed. Where on the south side of the road, there's an island, and you can't walk across it, so you have to walk in the street to get just to go, or go up there where you're afraid you might get hit. And so we would like, I got 75 signatures. I talked to everybody. On the other ones which I handed in, they was mostly filled. So there's a lot of people that want to walk. I would like to do a walk every day or every other day, a walk club. And so I'm proposing to you to fix it, please. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll speak to that. We accept her petition in terms of they want sidewalks, which is consistent with the reviews we're doing now and budgeting and stuff like that. The whole area we're taking a look at, we've already had those discussions. She wouldn't have known that, but the clerk's office took her petition, and she's able to speak. We'll be working that plan into what we can do. I'm not sure, what restrictions we may have in terms of money and area, but we're dealing with that very issue, the very issue she talked about.
Correct. We discussed it at last council meeting.
I think everybody on the council has already talked about trying to get some sidewalks down there, and that essentially the same issue. We don't have a plan yet. We're working on it, taking a look at it, and of course, then you have to fund it. So we did accept, the clerk's office did accept her petition. We noted, had she not been here, we would have brought it to your attention tonight. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One other item, is Water Resource Commission working on, is there a water main break? I mean, is that something, is that
I
our?
can speak on that if you'd like.
Yeah, well, somebody.
Yes, there was a water main break in January. It was underneath the edge of the road, right near the sidewalk. So they did place the available materials, crushed limestone, and packed it and got it as smooth as possible. And they won't be able to do the repair. They'll come in and actually saw cut the asphalt out and replace it with hot patch when the plants open up. Due to the weather restraints still, the plants have not opened up to this day.
Yeah, there's nothing unusual about that. That's just the way it is in Michigan. It's
winter.
We thought we were already, you woke up yesterday with snow on the ground. So, yes, the patching is coming, and we're hoping it's sooner than later. And we'll get to that a little bit later with the whole asphalt thing, so.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Okay, is there anyone else in the audience? Please approach the podium, state your name and address. Thank you.
My name is Jeffrey Lutz. I live at the Villa also, and I have a complaint about the setup of between Wall Lake Villa Drive on one end and to the other end, in front of the building. There's no walkway through. It's going across, and they're going too fast, and you go like a little snake around there, and then there's no sidewalk, so I feel that we should have a sidewalk so it'll be safe instead of going off the road because people don't see us and we could be hit. We had a bad accident recently because a person went too fast and wrecked up one of our seniors' whole side, and he's lost his car and she lost her car because she went through a red light, and then he was going to make us turn, and luckily he's still alive from the whole thing. So what I'm saying in English, I want from the Wall Lake Villa Drive, from the starting at the beginning when you go into the project, but not inside, it'll be outside, inside the crosswalk. We should have a crosswalk there because it doesn't make sense if you don't have something like that. We're not asking too much on it, and we should kind of try to improve that because I've been living here for 21 years, and I feel we should have better performance. If we're going to correct the inside part of the Wall Lake Villa Drive, we should also correct the front of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's necessary because we have to, I know we can't do nothing about the traffic light, but I'm trying to call the county and see if we control it because we have a light over by West Road, and then the next one is our road that we have a traffic light, and it's impossible to get out, either way. So we have to be patiently and try to correct the problem. So I thought I brought that attention to your people here because you have your hopefully hopes and appreciation of what I said, and I hope that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming, sir. Is there anyone else at this time for audience participation?
Is there any online?
Is there
Do not
anyone?
see any.
No, ma'am, you kept So we'll close audience participation then. At this time, I would ask for a motion to approve the regular council meeting of March 15th, 2022.
Go ahead.
So moved.
I'll support it.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a support. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, council report. Does any council member have a report that they would like to give on any of the boards or commissions that they are either liaisons or members of the board at this time?
I would, Mayor.
Okay?
On Saturday, we had a brilliant, I think, spring bunny egg hunt. I think we had an awesome bunny, one of the best I've ever seen. A little tall, but, we'll work through that. And I think we had a great turnout. The park looked great, so thank you, Dan. And I just want to say thank you to all the staff and Parks and Rec commissioners that were out to help out, and all the city council members who came out. I thought it was a really good event. Hundreds of people there.
Thank
It was
you.
really good.
Let me add to that. I would commend my public works staff. Superintendent got the park ready, but it was Miranda Gross, our deputy clerk, and human resource administrator who was acting recreation director that day, and she did a great job, assisted by Ms. Jakeway and our city clerk. So we got up and running, and the best event all was the bunny. The bunny. You all don't know who the bunny is, but the bunny did a really good job, and we appreciate that bunny. We expect that next year he'll be available should we need him to be the bunny.
Is Bunny coming back as Santa Claus?
I'm thinking that's a great idea.
Talk to the bunny. He might have to gain some weight for Santa Claus.
We have lots of pillows.
Perfect. I did discuss with him. He will be back next year as well. He
I would
enjoyed
like
it
an
thoroughly.
update so the council knows too, while we got to Ms. Jakeway, can you give an update on the people we had? We had, not only was it a good event and had a lot of people, but we had some vendors there that gave us some very positive feedback. I think we could start with the donut vendors.
Those were good.
We were able to invite Detroit Mini Donut to our spring egg hunt event, and they had a really good time there. The feedback that I received from them was that they did really well. That was one of their events they had a couple other events scheduled for that day. Excuse me, but they had a line the entire time. So they really enjoyed it, and they look forward to coming back for any other future events we may have at the city.
They went out of their way to give us some feedback, and they got paid. They had to make a living, and that line was backed up the entire time. I stayed until we closed it down, and it was lined up all the way back. And I think Miss Jakeway and her mother got the last donuts from the pony rides and the magician and all of that. I mentioned that too.
Great.
We also had Chamberlain pony rides out, and there was a line for all of the petting zoo, the pony ride itself, the balloons,
The bounce
face painting,
houses
bounce house as
lined up.
well, lines all around. And the magician had his show shortly after the egg hunt, and the feedback I received from him was that it was well attended and it was a good time.
The point I wanted to make was not only did we have good results on that, but Ms. Gross and Ms. Jakeway put together much more than an egg hunt. It really was a community event. And I saw you brought your kids there too, so.
Yep, my kids were there.
A whole bunch of kids. My daughter, who's now 17, 12 years ago came to the first one. She's 17 now, but she was in for a couple of years. The point here too is that's the first one we had 2 years out, and so we're back in business for the community egg hunt. That's it for that.
Yeah, that was a
point.
great event. Yep.
I love how it's evolved. My children went many moons ago, well, actually only a year or two ago. But it was strictly eggs, which they still loved. But I love that we stepped it up and made it a huge community event.
You can thank Ms. Gross for that. She was on it. Yeah. She's our de facto recreation director, you know. She hurt her back from carrying the weight of all of the recreation obligations, you know.
She did brilliantly, thank you.
Any other council member have any comments on any board meetings or?
The library's meeting this Friday, so
Okay.
I do not have a report.
Planning Commission did not have a meeting this past week.
Okay. Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll go on to the city manager's report.
Madam Mayor, I would ask council to move to receive and file the departmental and divisional statistical reports.
Do I have a motion, please?
Woods
I'll
will make
make
the
that
motion.
motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayor, a couple more items. I would like to give an update on all of the projects we've gone, or most of the projects we've got. I've given those updates. We give them to the Recreation Commission. We give them to the DDA. And so as a full council, we give it to the public who may be watching our live stream. I think we start with the recreation. You can give us report. You could give a report. And I'm sure you'll end up getting your word in there because of the construction we're doing. Ms. Jakeway?
Sure. So at last week's DDA meeting, we discussed a couple of construction projects and improvements that are happening this summer, but also within our downtown district. One of them, I'll begin going off of the DDA agenda here, the Decker Road project. So as you all know, Decker Road is being done this summer. I'd like to defer to Superintendent Mr. Ladd now for his update.
Okay, thank you. So the newest update is today, the traffic management company was out today installing the traffic control signs all the way around the project and the detour. We had a meeting Wednesday with the engineers from the company that's doing the 14-mile water main project, because their project is going to collide with ours, so the signage had to be worked out because they have 14-mile closed west of Decker, and we're going to close Decker to through traffic, so they're going to have to route people. They were using Decker Road as their detour, so they're going to have to move that detour over to Welch Road. So we worked with the traffic control company, both the engineers from each company that's doing Decker and the 14-mile job, and got it all worked out. So hopefully, after the first couple days, people get the pattern figured out, and it won't be too much of an inconvenience. The earliest start date we have right now is April 27th. The big holdup was the traffic control, but they're getting that worked out. So, and then the next date would be May 2nd. So those are the two start dates. And tomorrow at 11:30, we have a pre-construction meeting, and we'll get that clarified tomorrow and find out exactly where they're going to start and when, and make sure traffic control is all taken care of and in order. That's the...
Mayor, I'd like the police chief and the fire chief to speak to the issues of traffic control and fire service, how that's affected by this construction, so the public and the council knows what we're preparing to do during this construction period. So, Chief, you could start.
Good evening, council. Obviously, we need emergency access 24/7, just as the fire department does. So tomorrow, we have a meeting. It'll be a Zoom meeting. So we'll be looking at what traffic controls the companies we're going to be putting into place and making sure that those work for us and the community. So we have access 24/7. So we'll be watching them closely because they rarely get it right. So we will be working with them. Jim, what else? What am I missing?
Yeah, we just need access to every address and every intersection and in the community. And I think tomorrow will help out a lot at the 11:30 meeting. And we'll review those sites daily just to and update our staff on the road conditions.
We did send an invite to the bus garage, Dean Transportation.
Good.
For the schools.
What is the anticipated length of this project?
I believe it's July 15th.
Okay. I guess my question is, we're talking about routing down Decker and Welch Road. Are we prepared for what we usually get on the lake shore for people who know the area and the increased traffic and the complaints that are going to be coming from that area? Well, maybe not after this morning, it's not getting real warm, but I hope it warms up soon. What?
So we'll look to shift we have 3 radar signs. I think you guys have all seen them around town, so we shift them here and there. 2 of them we shift regularly. 1 we keep permanently on East Lake. That's one of the things we'll look at moving down to the lake now that it is getting nicer. Can I say that now? It's supposed to be 75 on Saturday, so we'll see. And we'll also look at directed patrols as well. Having the officers down there spend some time specifically in the morning for rush hour, in the evening, for rush hour on the way home. That's when we typically see the knuckleheads, so we'll address that.
Thank you.
I just have a quick question. With the road closure, what about mail delivery? Will those boxes for the residents that live on Decker Road, will they be boxed out like towards the end or by a neighborhood?
Tomorrow we'll have that discussion. I know in the past we have put a large rack of boxes at one end of the project or the other. They haven't had that discussion yet. I do believe that the mail will have access to the boxes in front of their homes because we're not doing anything outside of basically the curb line. So
Okay.
they should be able to.
Excellent question.
Okay.
Any
I'll
other
leave the building,
questions?
we're going to need you in back, but I think Mr. Ladd has got some more to report on the construction we got going on. I guess since you're talking about roads, next up is
Pontiac Trail.
Yeah.
Okay, Pontiac Trail from east-west Maple all the way to the west side of Wixom. It's a tri-party fund project, cost $770,000+, with $108,000 being the cost to the city. So it's a great program to be involved in. A lot of miles being paved, resurfaced. They're going to also rehabilitate the storm grates in the road, so they're nice and smooth when you drive over them. Hopefully, with the weather breaking, they'll be started in the next couple weeks. They've already actually started with repairing the storm drains. They've saw cut around and removed them, put cement in. Cement needs a week to cure before they can start paving, so it did buy us a little time. And that'll be a fairly quick project. The county likes to use this process, because it only takes 2 to 3 weeks, minimal impact on traffic, and hopefully no longer than a few hours at a time for road closures, or lane closures, I should say. Pontiac Trail should not be closed down at all.
When will that start?
They have not announced a start date to the public yet, but rumor has it was going to start in April. And they have already started with the storm drains and whatnot, so they are definitely planning on doing that, one of their first projects.
Mr. Ladd, let's continue with your construction report on the lake and our grant on the lake, and anything anybody wants to add to that.
Yeah, so Mercer Beach, a little messy with the snow down there, a couple of days, looked pretty muddy, but they're getting through it. They've got all the underground installed, all the stormwater drains installed. They've removed the old pipe from the center of the beach. That was part of the project, was to remove that, to clean up the beach, so that's been removed. Right now they're working on excavating for the curbs that will go in next. Then after the curbs go in, then they'll put the gravel in before they can pave. So hopefully they'll be paving within they need 1 week for the concrete to cure when they put the curbs in. They're supposed to start the curbs next week, and then the following week would be a good timeline with weather considerations to start the asphalt work.
I think we got concrete poured at our new rec site. Ms. Jakeway, will you give us a briefing and probably hand it off again to Mr. Ladd?
So in our, one of the improvements that are happening in our downtown district is at Riley Park. If you go by or drive by, you'll notice that the old equipment has been removed, and they have been installing the new playscape at our park. I don't know if Mr. Ladd can add to that.
Sure, so Riley Park, playground equipment, it's all in place. They poured the cement around the bases yesterday, around the pipes, so it's all up. It looks just the way it's going to look when it's a finished product. the company that installed it, their portion of the project is done. So now we have to wait for the ambient temperatures to be above 50 degrees before they can install the PIP, which is a poured-in-place rubber product. So we're just waiting on weather. It's just Michigan, we're so dependent on weather with all the construction we do, and everybody's very busy in the industry trying to get going on all their products and or projects. So it's going to be a great little park when it's done. They did pour the concrete border on the exterior of the poured-in-place material. They poured it, and then the next day it was going to get below zero at night. So the process for that is you should put warming or just blankets over it, insulated blankets, to hold the heat in so that the concrete cures to its fullest strength. So I made sure, I called the company and said, "You're putting blankets on it today, right?" And next thing you know, they pulled up with a trailer with brand new blankets and covered all of it. So
Very nice.
that was good to see.
Good.
I think that covers that part. I think we got all the construction. You probably heard all you needed to hear today. And if you've been to the other meetings, we've been reporting regularly to the board. The DDA has a lot of to do with what that construction that is actually going on now and beginning. Tonight we have a report on our grant that came out of the fire department. Jim, you ready to do that?
Absolutely.
And we also got a presentation for you. Jim, go.
Yeah. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Really happy to announce our grant award that we had received a couple of months ago, but we've got the product in, and it's air packs. And we were desperately needing air packs for our department, and we had been budgeting and planning on purchasing the air packs on our own out of our budget. And we needed to replace 25 air packs. They're $8,000 a piece, and this was the third year that we have applied for funding through FEMA. Fire Marshal Jason Gonzalez, he had worked on the last, for all the grants actually, for the air packs. And so the last 2 years, we didn't receive an award. And this year, we tried something a little bit different, and we worked with our mutual aid partners and with 5 neighboring communities, and we were able to go in on air packs. So we were awarded 25 brand-new air packs. They arrived last week. It's a value of $200,000. We have a 10% match, and the air packs we use we wear them on our backs, and during structure fires or anytime there's a deficient oxygen, vehicle fires, hazardous materials type situations, we wear the air packs to protect the firefighters. What's really nice about going in with our neighbors on the air packs is we all have the same type. We work real close together with our neighbors, Commerce and Wixom, Milford, Novi, and having the same type of air packs, we're able to, we know how their equipment works and they know how our equipment works. So that's a great benefit. And tonight, we have Devin Overbeck, one of our firefighter EMTs. He's going to show us, demonstrate how the air pack works.
Jim, how much does one air pack cost?
One air pack is $8,000. So this is a $200,000 benefit to the city that we're not going to have to. It's not going to come out of our budget. And these air packs also go on our new fire truck that we purchased last year, and it will definitely complement it. Makes it safer for the firefighters. The new air packs, the air packs that we had were at the end of their life, and it was really difficult to find parts for the air packs, and just the technology with these new devices is awesome. This is going to last us 20 years. These air packs will. So it's definitely a benefit to the community and for the safety of the firefighters also. They're more comfortable to wear than the older packs that we have currently. We should have them in service in the next 30 days. We're inventory and everything right now, and we have to go through a training program also with that. So. The air bottles have 4,500 pounds of air in it, and generally it should last anywhere from like 30 to 40 minutes inside a structure fire. And that alarm that you hear there is a safety device. If a firefighter is not moving for more than 20 seconds or so, it sends off an alarm and it lets all the other firefighters know that a firefighter is not moving. And in case they're trapped inside a structure, you'll be able to locate them a little bit quicker.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That is
Get him to walk by closer to the council members so they can get an up-close look at that $8,000 device.
The total
As close
award.
as I want to get.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Very good.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Very good.
And that's a real benefit to have the amplifier on there, especially at a fire ground. It's really loud with fire trucks running and lots of noises, so it amplifies what the firefighter has to say. The total award, it was 236 air packs to this region, and with the 6 departments, and the total grant package was $1.9 million. So this was really like winning the lotto. Like I said, we've tried. This is the third time that we've tried for air packs. We try every year for a variety of different types of fire equipment. We've tried 3 times for a fire engine, and it's very competitive. The bidding to receive a grant, and so we were very fortunate to receive this. So it's definitely going to save the city a lot of money. The citizens, and they'll look really good on the new fire truck.
Yeah.
What is the weight of the unit? You know, with 50 pounds, 40 pounds?
It's 28 pounds.
28.
It's not that heavy.
For 40 minutes of air. That's great.
Outstanding.
That it, Jim?
Super.
That's it. If there's any questions.
Marshall, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Man,
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jen.
you're good in that.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Nice job.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
That's very cool.
Mayor, next up, I would like the police chief to give us an update on the fireworks permits that have been requested on the lake. That would have to do with our event on the lake and how that factors in with the civic fund. So give us all that update. Council will need to know and the public will need to know.
So we have 2 permits that have come to, they usually come through the clerk's office and come to us first. The first one is the Civic Fund. Pretty normal. We've seen that for years. They're in partnership with our summer festival. We've looked at that and we have the staffing for that. That is going to be June 25th. So we're good with that one. I don't believe there's any other issues in the other departments, not that I've heard of. The other one is going to be, there's a request from Barrels of Wine. He was requesting I believe it was June 23rd. July 23rd. Unfortunately, that time with vacations and time off, because that's picked many months in advance, there's no way we're able to accommodate that request. So we're working with the gentleman to reschedule that date. Any further on that?
No, that'll be fine.
So it's pending.
It's pending. We got one approved and one's pending, and there's be some negotiation with there to make sure that everything is right downtown before we authorize the second fireworks, but we're confident we can get that worked out. Thanks, Chief.
Absolutely.
I think we have one more short report from Ms. Jakeway about the farmer's market and how that's going to look come May.
Sure. There are 2 recreation events we can report on, one of them being the farmers market. Opening day is scheduled for May 4th, and it's going to be happening at our public safety campus. The application is available on the city's website under the Parks and Recreation tab, and I've received a couple returning vendors' applications already, so I'm very looking forward to this season. It's going to be a great year, and we're also once the landscaping and the site is ready to be opened, welcoming the trail users to our farmers market is something I'm looking forward to this season. Another event that we can discuss is our Memorial Day Parade. I don't know if we have any updates on that, but I don't know if Ms. Gross wants to talk to,
You'll make you get up again, that's fine.
or Chief. I know City Manager has called an internal meeting to discuss rerouting our parade route, but also our staging area. With the construction projects that are happening in our downtown, we've had to redesign how we're doing our parade this year. I don't know if Chief or Ms. Gross wants to speak on that.
Ms. Gross? You're the rec director.
Up, down, up, down.
I think she pretty much covered it. So we did discuss changing the route a little bit this year. It would be along Maple Road. It would not be down on East Wall Lake Drive or on Pontiac Trail. We would hope to start it at like the 850 LAD building area where the school's offices are, and hopefully line everybody up there and have everybody go down Maple and then end here at our public safety campus where we normally end it at. So I think that's pretty much it. Do you have anything to add? I don't know.
So looking at this, I know we have talked to some of you about it, but we believe this is going to be a much safer staging area than downtown, especially now with the construction downtown. We don't know. I don't believe that's going to be wrapped up, or we certainly can't plan on that. So we're hoping that this goes well this year. I know some people want it to go still through the downtown. We're hoping that this year is a success. We believe it's going to be a lot easier from the public safety standpoint, of safety for the staging area, and also less driveways and businesses to contend with, to make sure that we don't have traffic coming into our parade. So we're hoping that this year is a success. So with the new route.
That's a good report. I think council knows we're going to focus on the center that when it enters, crosses Pontiac Trail, which means that the businesses down there are going to put on a show all by themselves. That'll include Casey's. So we expect a big event down there coming by that could add to our parade. But the beginning is important for us, and then the ending, and we're still working on the details of that. What we didn't mention, so either one of you can, is we have a Grand Marshal who's agreed. And we believe, did we get an email from the state rep?
Yes,
Okay.
Ms. Bolin, she intends on participating this year.
Okay, State Rep Bolin, thank to our Councilwoman Fernandez. I got to meet her for the first time. She's been invited to make a presentation with the mayor, and we also have the Grand Marshal from Fox News. She's Marielle Lou, and you've seen her on Fox News many, many times. And she's actually a Wall Lake resident, which is pretty good. So we're hoping we get her to do a little emceeing as well. I'm pretty sure Fox News will cover that.
Would assume so.
And so that's another reason that Casey's better be putting a good presentation on down there.
We've already had our meetings
as they come by, and the mayor's speech must be really well done. So we're expecting a good event, and we're really pleased that the state rep is willing to come up and give a speech or speak about all those who gave it all, the Memorial Day. You know, that's what this is. It shouldn't be confused with Veterans Day. Memorial Day is those who have already given. And so it's more about, rather than the parade, it's more about that day. So we believe we can make it a success. So I think you covered them all. Mm-hmm. I believe that I'm probably finished.
You think you're finished? Okay.
Yeah.
Quick question. I don't know if that would either be either chief or city manager, but years previously we had a flyover participate in the Memorial Day Parade. I have no idea how we go about that, if that's something that we thought of.
Well, we always think of that as what we can get. We're talking about drill teams, whatever we can get. I've been working with the chief. We even have a connection with the U.S. Army, and we'll try to get that done. Ms. Jakeway's sister is a sergeant in the United States Army. Imagine that.
Look at that.
I prefer the Marine Corps because that's where I serve, but we are looking to get the military
Awesome.
presentation. Not sure we're going to be able to get overfly or whatever, but we're inviting the military to participate, and of course, the veterans of the foreign wars and all the people. We're going to try to get it. We're still in that process. As a matter of fact, I expect this week, probably tomorrow, or even Thursday, we'll have another meeting about beginning to do that. And I believe we have at least one really nice vehicle to ride in front. One of our council members has been gracious enough to offer that, and that would be Councilmember Woods. Has got is a brand new Bronco.
Yes.
And he offered that to whoever's going to lead the parade. We'll talk about who gets to ride in that great Bronco. I personally want to, but I'm not going to be in the parade. We're going to try to organize it. So we're going to be doing the planning of that this week and continue on. But we want the military, and I'm pretty sure they will participate. We just don't know what we can get, and they have to make choices based on what their orders are too. So.
Okay. Thank you for touching on that.
Yeah. Mayor, my reports are completed for the evening, I think.
Everyone done with questions of the city manager? Okay, let's move on to correspondence.
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Next item is the attorney's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Got a couple of items for council this evening. The first item is a proposed zoning ordinance amendment. It's presented on the agenda tonight for first reading. Basically, what this proposed amendment would do, it would revise a number of the terms and definitions in the definitional section of the zoning ordinance. In the course of doing my legal review of a number of proposals that have recently gone before Planning Commission and the ZBA, I've identified some deficiencies in these definitions, and so I went ahead and drafted the revisions that were needed so that they could be more easily applied in fact-specific situations. I've prepared it in a red line format that shows the existing language that is proposed for deletion, and shows the proposed new language, which is underlined, so you can more easily follow what those changes would be, and so you can have a better understanding of exactly how these definitions would change. So if anybody has any specific questions on any specific definition, I'd be more than happy to address that. It would go before the Planning Commission for the required public hearing at the May Planning Commission meeting. It would be reviewed obviously by the Planning Commission and the planning consultant as well. And, we'd have a second set of eyes to look at it to see if there are any issues or concerns that they might have. And it would then come back before council at the May meeting for final approval.
Does anyone have any questions of the attorney this evening? If not, maybe take another review of it, and if you do, contact either Mr. Venerian or Mr. Osnick or one of our Planning Commission members if you have, or show up at the meeting if you have any questions.
Lots of options. It will be a public hearing.
I think it's a very important issue that we do need to make these amendment changes, or these changes in the ordinance, so. Okay.
Next item I have is a report on a single-family residential structure that has fallen into a state of disrepair. I've prepared the details of this particular property and the issues with this particular property by way of a confidential attorney-client communication, so I'm not at liberty to go into a lot of detail during the open part of the meeting. If council is interested in pursuing a demolition, court-ordered demolition of this particular structure, it would require the filing of a circuit court action. So I would be looking for authorization from council to go forward and do that if that was the council's pleasure.
Mayor, I need to speak with that.
Yes, please.
Yes, we've had several of those through the years in my time here. This is the only method to rectify the situation. The property is uninhabitable, so demolition is required. There's no way to fix that, no group that could come in and do that. I think some of you will recall that we actually demoed the house on Leon.
Correct.
And then we demoed a house right off Leon on Sparks. Particularly interested was the house on Leon was occupied by an individual who did not, he didn't want to leave, but it was dangerous and uninhabitable, so we had to do a little extra. In this case, we believe the house is vacant, we've been there and all that. So the only way to rectify this for the neighborhood, you owe it to the neighborhood to vote yes and to send the city attorney into court, so we do it properly and legally and fix it for the neighborhood. Otherwise, it's going to continue to get worse. It is a hazard and it's uninhabitable. So I recommend that you instruct the city attorney to file an action.
I think the report is pretty detailed. I'm not sure that there's any need to go into executive session. I think we've got everything here we need, and I agree. I think demolition is probably the best way to handle it. But whatever the pleasure of council is.
I'll make a motion to instruct our city attorney to file the paperwork to demolish, to have the home demolished through the court system.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Locke,
Yes.
Lublin,
Yes.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes. Do you have anything else, sir?
That concludes my report for the evening.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. There's no unfinished business. New business is the proposed resolution for 2022-17 auditor agreement for the years 23 through 25.
The audit team is the same as you're all familiar with. Mr. Pfeffer is the principal in that business. Pfeffer, Hanford, and Palka. They've been with us for a few years. They have not raised their rates, so the fees would be the same, and it would be for 23, 24, and 25. I recommend that we renew the agreement, sign it again, and keep them aboard. Recall that they do not work for me. They work independent, so that what they do is their independent judgment. You're required under the law to have an independent auditor. I think the resolution, as most of you seen before, it's the resolution that approved them before, and it basically explains any other question you might have. So we're required to have an independent auditor. You do have the option of bidding it out and doing it differently. From where I sit, there's no reason to change right now. So I would recommend you approve the resolution authorizing the execution of the contract.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Lublin,
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes. Okay, that is the last item on our agenda this evening. For discussion, now we're into council comments.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Madam Mayor. I did not note the motion for the first reading approval.
Pardon me?
I did not note the motion for the first reading approval. I need a motion for the first reading of the ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we had that.
You discussed it, I did not get the motion.
Okay, so you're going back to,
Please, C 361, I need a motion for approval of first reading.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
okay, sorry about that. Everybody ready for a roll call? Roll call, please.
Lublin,
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Ackley. Thank you.
Yes. That's why our clerk is so valuable.
Yes.
Keeps us on our toes here.
Yes, very important.
Okay, now can we have council comments? Tamara.
Look, I was trying to avoid eye contact.
I got first last month. You're up now.
I am so excited about all the projects this summer. I can't wait. I'm a little nervous about all the road closures, but this town is really, really coming along. It wasn't too long ago that we were in some serious trouble, and we've come such a long way. And as My fellow council members will be very proud to announce still no raised taxes and no added debt. So I thank all of the staff for that.
Thank you.
That's them, all of them. They're all professionals, they're all solid employees, they're my team until the end. I'm proud of them all. I didn't mention under my report that I need to mention, and we're going to have Miss Stewart will be going to her first training to be a city treasurer. Even though she's already been city treasurer and deputy treasurer, she's going to Central Michigan University campus for her first year in the certification to be city treasurer. Along with her, while she's home on family leave, I don't know if she's logged in, Ms. Pesta, our finance director, she's going to go with her newborn and the family because she can, and she's going to go for her third year, and she will graduate and be a certified municipal treasurer for Michigan. So we continue to use these training facilities in the educational approach to keeping people up to speed, and it's worked out very well for this community and this council, and I'm proud of them all. That's your team. It's going to be here for a while. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
They're excellent.
Mr. Osnick.
I'd like to echo all of those comments about how nice the city has progressed in the time that I've been on council. We've come, like Tamara says, we've come a long way. We're not done yet. But our first order of business is always public safety. That means our fire and police departments need all of the support that we can possibly give them, whether it be material or emotional, whatever. And then the next in line is our city workers, our DPW, which keeps the place looking very nice. Our parks are well-kept, our streets are plowed when they need it, and not to be outdone, our city staff is just beyond words of excellent. We've trained them well, we continue to train them well, and they're doing yeoman work. They really are. They're just, I would put our staff against any other communities. With as few staff as we have, they've just done excellent work. Excellent. I can't praise them enough.
Thank you. Mr. Woods.
I just wanted to reiterate about the comments from this past Sunday or Saturday's egg hunt. I took my 7-year-old there. She had a great time. Thought it was excellent. I thought it was excellent. We were with Madam Clerk after the run had happened, right, for all the eggs. She looked and said, "It's over," but you turned around and it kept going. It was a great community event, and I think that's what you guys are building here. So she had a blast. We decided to stop at Riley Park on the way home, and the playground equipment in. Super excited. Loved it. With all the work that everybody's doing, Walled Lake is a great place to be. When we get all this done, it'll be even a better place to live.
Thank you. Indy.
And agreed with all the things that are great that are going on in our community. And but I also wanted to mention our volunteers in our community, with the Optimist, the Rotary, the Chamber, all doing great things in our community and working to make it a better community. And I had a meeting with the Lakes Area Community Coalition. And I just wanted to remind everybody that Take Back Day is April 30th. And that is where you can come up here to the police, and there is you can turn in your prescription drugs that you're no longer needing and no longer using, so that they're out of your house and out of potentially unsafe hands. So want to make sure that everybody knows about April 30th and Take Back Day. Make sure that we get those out of the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Hair Rabbit. Oh, I mean,
Hair Rabbit.
No, nothing. Just going back again, I guess what fellow councilman Woods and the rest of my fellow council members said, the Easter egg hunt, Miranda Gross did a phenomenal job putting that together. I mean, she had everybody to a T. It worked out beautifully. I'm super, super excited to see what happens next year. I mean, the rest of the staff working on that, they did an amazing job. They were there when basically the sun came up, and we're working just hard at it. Moving on to Riley Park, looks great. I'm super, super excited to see the final product of it. Just a couple more weeks and we'll see that. The beach looks great. The rest of the projects, I mean, I'm just super, super excited to see where we will go. Anxious as always, but it'll be fine. I mean, like a bouncy ball, it's got to go down before it comes up. I'm super, super excited. Just keep up the good work, every single one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess there's not much to say tonight that hasn't already been said. Oh,
I've got something to say, thank you.
I thought you'd left.
Something to say.
I'm still here.
We never forgot you, Bennett.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Bennett.
So I just want to say thank you to our city manager, because he really is the leader of the team. And you've really built the team that gets along so nicely. All the divisions work together, administration, fire, police, and DPW. So we thank you, Dennis. I know you don't ask for any credit.
I don't get credit. They all get it. In fact, I missed one, and I'm going to embarrass him right now. Our fire chief has just completed his master's degree in Homeland Security. And so now the whole world live stream is embarrassed. But Chief of Police was unimpressed because he has 2 master's degrees.
Oh, Kenneth, he's coming for you.
And he can. Thank you, Bennett. I appreciate that. I do.
And I'm just proud of the team that we have and the projects that we're completing, that we're doing. And as I've said before, you know, we save the money and then we spend it. And I hope that continues. I don't know that it will, but we would like that to continue.
Thanks, Bennett.
Forever. Thank you. Thank you,
And I
Mayor.
apologize. Anyways, as I started to say, there's not too much to be said tonight that hasn't already been said. But I will say that I had a very, very interesting afternoon. I have my sister down here with me. She would probably be upset if I say that she was brought to Wall Lake in 1944 when she was 2 years old. I give her age away kind of a little bit. So we were driving around town and she was reminiscing what was here, what was there. And some of the things she said was like, you know, I remember wanting to go swimming and we couldn't go swimming sometimes because there was raw sewage in the lake, because we didn't have sewer systems back then, you know, things. Where we've come from and the buildings and how they've changed, it was kind of like a walk through history for me. I remember some of it, but I'm a whole lot younger than she is, so I don't remember all of it. But yes, we have come so very far, and I am very proud of Wall Lake, and that's why I have stayed in Wall Lake and stayed in the home that I was born and raised in. But I'm also very proud of the staff. I would say in my almost 40 years on council, it's by far the best staff that we've ever put together. The best educated, the best dedicated, and our city manager's not too bad either. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody. It's really a pleasure serving on the council and serving as mayor, but most of all, being a resident of Wall Lake. We've come a long way. Still have a little ways to go, but we've come a long way. So with that, I say thank you, everyone, and ask for an adjournment.
So moved.
Let's go home.
Thank you.
Thank you.